Second technique of the intro class will be the armbar from the mount. Okay, so the mounted position, it's a very important position in Jiu-Jitsu, more dominant than the first technique, which is side control. And what we want to do here is to, first of all, we want to mount properly. I'm going to be a lot more upright than I really am during a match because I'm explaining the technique here. But usually if you're mounting in an offensive way, you don't want to be too much towards the hips. That's the point of maximum thrust here. And you want to make sure that you're in a position where his arms are exposed. If I start mounting too low here, he can hide those elbows towards the ground, and it's going to be really hard for me to attack them. Okay? So bring your knees a little higher towards his armpits. Make sure that your heels are pinching on his hips, so there's no space for him to try to move his hips away. We call it shrimping. As far as the upper body goes, even though right now I'm very upright, in reality, I would be very low. Okay, so I'll be in this position here, usually forcing him to look one way and placing my hand on the other side. As far as grips go, what I will do here is that if I want to attack the right arm, I'm going to go with my right hand, okay, and I'm going to grab it. Okay, you can do different grips here. Traditionally, we try to teach at this gym a grip that works for gi and no gi. A lot of people will be doing gi grips here, but then when it comes to no gi, they have to switch. We find it better just to teach you guys this technique in one way. That way it applies in a gi scenario or without a gi. So what I'll do here in this grip, I'm going to use my right hand and attack the right arm, and I'm going to scoop it above the elbow. I'm using a monkey grip, so in other words, I'm really not using my thumb. I'm just reaching above the elbow and grabbing it like that. At this point, this grip is not tight at all. Okay? The next step will be to bring him off the ground a little bit. His shoulder's going to be off the ground, and in order to do that, I can't stay tight on top because he won't move if I pull here. So what I will do is that I'm going to step up with my foot on the far side and take some pressure off so I can do this here. Okay? Once I do this, make sure though everything is tight still. My base is good on this side, and my foot here is really digging in on the side of his hip. And when I do this motion here of pulling his shoulder off the ground, I'm going to bring my chest on top of it, and now I make a sandwich. My thigh, his arm is in the middle, and my upper body is leaning on it. So all of my weight right here. Okay? So if he tries to pull that arm back, it's going to be stuck. Not going to be here forever though. So what I want to do is place my hand on his chest or neck. Okay? Sometimes you see people doing that, but it's very important to transfer your weight to this hand because you're the most vulnerable when you spin around. So you want to slow this person in the bottom as much as possible. So place your hand right here, and all of your weight goes into that hand. And then you're going to spin this leg. I don't want to stutter step it. What I mean by that is that I don't want to take little short, steps here. I want to make it one fluid motion to the other side. As a beginner, once you do this here, okay, you're going to be feeling off balance and you're going to fall back. That's okay. What we want to do is make sure that all the weight is here, and this is the axis around which I spin. So throw that leg over. Once you feel off balance, you're going to start falling down. Give that elbow a little tug as you fall down so that the position ends up very tight. Common mistakes for beginners are to be this far off with a lot of gaps here and not a whole lot of pressure. I want to be close to him so that his elbow is higher towards my chest versus being towards my groin. Legs are relaxed, okay? I see a lot of people do this kind of stuff here, okay? And this here, while your foot is planted on the ground, gives him room to escape. As far as crossing or not crossing the ankles, traditionally we teach the beginners to cross. In the end, it depends on what he does really. Okay, so you can do it one way or another. You're going to squeeze the knees together, and that's extremely important because you don't want him to be able to rotate that arm freely. And you're going to glue that arm to your chest. The hand that's near the elbow stays there. That was the hand that you used to start the armbar. The one that was on his chest falls to the wrist to glue that wrist to your chest. And now in one motion, one block, you're going to arch back. Very important not to try to fall back and then bring the arm later, because you're going to be using your curling, rolling motion against his curl. If he's really, way heavier than you, strong guy, it's going to be rough to extend that arm. So you want to use the bigger muscle groups to nullify that. You're going to squeeze your knees together and fall down to get the tap. As soon as he taps on you, you let go. So once again, from the beginning here, you're in this position. You're going to cross grab that. Monkey grip above the elbow. you're gonna step up with the opposite side foot, in this case my right foot. I'm gonna take the shoulder off the ground and put pressure with my chest on top of his arm. So the arm is sandwiched between my thigh and my upper body. Hand on the chest, this is the axis around which you're gonna spin. Big pressure, all of your weight here. One single step, avoid little steps. Fluid, once you get that, you're gonna fall back and tug on the arm as you do. Try to land 90 degrees with him. Avoid starting landing more this way here. You're flat on your back, your legs are relaxed. Depending on what he does, you can cross or not cross the ankles. Pressure downward, especially on the head. That's what's gonna keep him from propping up. Knees are squeezed together to avoid him twisting that elbow. And for beginners, we usually say thumb up is good. What I mean by that is that with the thumb up, the majority of times, the elbow is down. And the truth is, it doesn't matter where the thumb is pointing. What does matter is where the elbow is pointing. So make sure you're getting a hold of that elbow and pointing that elbow towards you, towards the downside. Now, bring it here and slowly arch your back to get the finish. And that's your armbar from the mount.